lecture collaboration between Universitas Esa Unggul and INTI International University with international webinar, Innovation of Public Relations Strategy in Post-COVID-19 Pandemic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes, we will begin this event, so you all still have a time to check your connection or other things that you'll need to fix. And I want to convey the rules of this event. So, ladies and gentlemen, please use your actual name on your screen, and during this event, please turn on the video feature with the virtual background that already shared by the committee. Well, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to greet again. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Dean Faculty of Academy Program Associate Professor Dr. Chu Woo-on, on behalf Counselor of INTI International University, Dr. Joseph Lee, Distinguished Director of International Office of INTI International University, Mr. Brandon Kwon, Distinguished Head of Program Mass Communication, Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya, the Honorable Director of Universitas Esa Unggul, Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Among Praja, MBA, IPU, Distinguished Director of International Office of Universitas Esa Unggul, Ms. Prita Suyudi SH MKN, Distinguished Dean Faculty of Communication Science, Dr. Andus Erman Anom MM PhD, and Distinguished Ms. Indriati Yulisiani SOS MSc, Mr. Agus Firmansyah SOS MICOM, and Distinguished Vice Director as well, Vice President, Deans, Heads of Programs, Officials, Professor, and Lecturers. Good morning, and particularly, I would like to greet the students of the two universities who have chosen to use their time in the day to be here this morning. Welcome again to Virtual International MoU and International Webinar of Universitas Esa Unggul Indonesia and INTI International University Malaysia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the special warning, we have several agendas, so allow me to read several sequence of our agenda. The first is opening, which we precisely have together. The second is Universitas Esa Unggul provide video playback. The third is welcome speech from Rector of Universitas Esa Unggul. The fourth is INTI International University provide video playback. The fifth is welcome speech from Vice Chancellor of INTI International University. The sixth is MoU signing. The seventh is entertainment. The eighth is opening webinar. The ninth is Q&A, and the last is closing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, step on the next agenda. I would like to take a look of the profile of Universitas Esa Unggul. If the committee can help to play the video, please.
Berdiri sejak tahun 1993, Universitas Esa Unggul telah menjadi salah satu kampus swasta terbaik di Indonesia. Kini, Universitas Esa Unggul memiliki 15.000 lebih mahasiswa yang terbagi di 4 kampus. Sebagai kampus utama, Universitas Esa Unggul Kebonjeruk memiliki 10 fakultas. Kampus Kebonjeruk juga memiliki sarana dan prasarana yang mampu menunjang proses belajar mengajar, seperti laboratorium yang dilengkapi dengan perangkat terbaru, perpustakaan yang terakreditasi A, dan juga fasilitas lain. Universitas Esa Unggul Kampus Citra Raya merupakan kampus kedua dari 4 kampus yang ada dalam naungan Universitas Esa Unggul. Diresmikan sejak tahun 2015, Universitas Esa Unggul Kampus Citra Raya hadir dengan jurusan-jurusan unggulan dengan akreditasi A. Jurusan-jurusan tersebut antara lain Teknik Industri, Teknik Informatika, Sistem Informasi, Manajemen, Akuntansi, Humas, Marketing Komunikasi, Ilmu Hukum, Psikologi, Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasar, Desain Komunikasi Visual, dan juga program Pasca Sarjana khusus untuk S2. Kampus ketiga berada di Bekasi. Universitas Esa Unggul Bekasi memiliki fasilitas yang memadai dan juga tenaga pengajar yang profesional. Kampus ini menjadi jawaban masyarakat akan perguruan tinggi yang berkualitas. Sebagai komitmen untuk mewujudkan kampus dengan kualitas terbaik, Universitas Esa Unggul memiliki gedung kampus baru dengan 41 kelas dan dilengkapi dengan berbagai laboratorium dan fasilitas lainnya, seperti laboratorium gizi, di mana mahasiswa dapat langsung belajar bagaimana mengolah sebuah makanan yang sesuai dengan standar gizi yang baik. Sebagai perwujudan visi untuk menjadi world class university, kini Universitas Esa Unggul telah membuka kampus khusus internasional kelas di Majestic Point, Gading Serpong, Tangerang. Lewat program internasionalnya, Universitas Esa Unggul Kampus Gading Serpong akan mempersiapkan mahasiswa agar memiliki kemampuan intelektual yang tinggi, kreatif, serta siap bersaing secara global.
Mari bergabung bersama ribuan mahasiswa lainnya di Universitas Esa Unggul, di mana Anda akan dididik bukan hanya menjadi orang yang cerdas dan intelektual, tetapi juga kreatif dan mempunyai jiwa kewirausahaan. Serta Anda akan siap terjun untuk menghadapi berbagai macam tantangan global. Be smart, creative, and entrepreneurial.
Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to kindly invite to deliver a welcoming remark Director of Universitas Esa Unggul, Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Amung Praja, MBA, ITU. Distinguished Director of Universitas Esa Unggul, Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Amung Praja, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you Nadila for your opportunity. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and warm greetings and welcome from Jakarta to the Honorable, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of INTI International University, Associate Professor Dr. Cho Woo-on, and also the Director of International Office of INTI International University, Mr. Brandon Puon, and the Head of Mass Communication Program, Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya, and my dear colleagues from Universitas Esa Unggul who are also present in this virtual room with me, the Vice Rector for Learning and Cooperation, Ibu Endah Murtiana Sari, and the Vice Rector for Research and Development and Innovation, Dr. Muhammad Farazin Arozi, and Director of International Office, Ibu Prita Suyudi, and then also the Dean of Faculty of Communication Science, Dr. Erman Anom, PhD. And then also my dear colleagues, the lecturer, faculties, and also students from INTI International University and also Universitas Esa Unggul, and then also the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To start on, first of all, I would like, please let us praise to the grateful to the Almighty God, which has given us guidance and blessing, so that we can gather here together in this virtual meeting to conduct MoU signing ceremony between Universitas Esa Unggul and INTI International University. And in this occasion, on behalf of Universitas Esa Unggul, I would like to express my gratitude and my appreciation to Associate Professor Dr. Chu Woo-on for your time and effort to attend this signing ceremony with us together. And Professor On and also other participants, to start with, please allow me to introduce Universitas Esa Unggul in general. Universitas Esa Unggul was founded in 1993, and now it is already more than 20 years of old, starting with 4 study programs in 2 faculties, and this time the number of our study program have grown into 34 study program, which are managed in 10 faculties, which is the Faculty of Business and Economic, Faculties of Engineering, Faculties of Design, Creative and Creative Industry, Faculties of Health Sciences, Faculty of Law, Faculty of Communication, and Faculty of Physiotherapy, Therapy, Faculty of Psychology, and Faculty of Computer Science, and the last one is Faculty of Education. Currently, we have more than 16,000 students, and the number of our lecturers is more than 500 lecturers. As Unggul has 4 campuses located in Jakarta and its satellite cities of Bekasi and Tangerang. Dr. On, and also ladies and gentlemen, I'm very optimistic that this collaboration will give especially Universitas Esa Unggul to become a better and more reputable university. And I believe that this kind of benefit is also realized by INTI International University because we in academic world usually grow and work best through collaboration, and we can stimulating one another through exchange view, ID, and invention. So the collaboration that we will do can be started, for example, with exchanging our experiences and knowledge, and also best practices in conducting a good learning process, especially how to conduct a good learning process in the era of post in the era or in the era of post COVID-19 pandemic, like we are experienced today. And the general lecture that we held together today is a proof that the collaboration between university can be carried out to provide students with better learning experience. And by presenting experts and lecturers from both institutions to discuss a topic that we will discuss together today, the innovation of public relations strategy in the post-pandemic COVID era is one of the best form of contribution from universities to the development and the dissemination of knowledge, science, and technology. And therefore, in this opportunity, please allow me also to express my gratitude to the speakers of this general lecturer, Mrs. Indri Julistiani from Esa Unggul University, and also Mrs. Joanna Binti Jaya from INTI International University. Finally, I hope that in the near future, that this collaboration ceremony will be followed by a faculty collaboration program in research and also joint seminars and also joint publication. And also, I hope that in the near future that we can make an exchange student program and also make a lecturer exchange program. Especially, we can do it after the pandemic is over. Finally, let us say thank you again to Dr. On and our friends from INTI International University. Then hopefully that this collaboration will be fruitful to both our institution in the future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Among Praja, for the welcoming remark. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now take a look of the profile our counterpart in the International University. So if the committee can help to play the video, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would like to invite the Dean Faculty of Academy from INTI International University, Dr. Chu Woo-on, on behalf Chancellor of INTI International University, to deliver the welcoming remark. Distinguished Dean Associate Professor Dr. Chu Woo-on, the floor is yours.
A very good morning, selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera to Dr. I.R. Arif, Rector, and all the Vice Rectors from the University, Ms. Idriati, Ms. Joanna as the speakers for today, the moderator, Mr. Agus, and MC Ms. Nadia. Also to all the deans, directors, professors, lecturers, and students. Hope everyone is in good health. Okay, we all need to take care of ourselves during this pandemic COVID. Take the inject of the COVID vaccine to protect yourself and your family members. Okay, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the signing of MoU today between the Universitas Esa Unggul and INTI International University. Today's signing set a significant milestone for closer collaborations among the two universities for knowledge transfer and sharing between the two countries, Indonesia and Malaysia. We have been working closely between these two countries for many, many years. Okay, it extends to university right now, and I hope we can have a really more closer collaboration. In 2021, INTI International University has actually successfully organized two international conferences, namely International Conference on Innovation and Technology, ICIT 2021, and the second is Asian Social Business Conference, ASBC. For ICIT, the conference has attracted more than 500 presenters and participants from many countries around the world, such as China, Hong Kong, Singapore, UK, Australia, France, and just to name a few. For Asia Social Business Conference, we are actually very proud to have Professor Yunus, a Nobel Peace Laureate Prize winner, to be the keynote speaker. The conference has actually attracted more than 100 presenters and participants around the world. In 2021 alone, INTI International University also organized 68 online symposiums, which contributed to the academicians in Malaysia and overseas. Also, we invited all the practitioners from companies and also NGOs, governments. So with this kind of arrangement from the international conferences and also online symposium, and of course, like today we have another one, which is the knowledge sharing between Miss Idriati and Miss Joanna, will actually benefited not only the university lecturers, of course, to all the students as well. Everyone talk about lifelong learning. We should be actually looking at this as a journey for improvement, not only the skills, but also the knowledge. I still remember during my PhD time in year 2005, I had one colleague from Indonesia, okay? Both of them, husband and wife, they actually enrolled into PhD at the age of 72, okay? And it actually gave me a very touch and high respect to both of them, which even 72 years old, their dedications and the motivation to enroll into PhD at University Kebangsaan Malaysia has actually really motivate others as well. I believe these things is for everyone. So all the students as well, diploma degree is a start of the education. If you are actually proceeding, you can go to master or even PhD level, okay? So that is your journey. Of course, you can actually go out and work as entrepreneurs, start up your own company and be on your own boss, okay? So as Dr. Arif has mentioned, we are looking forward to more collaborations between two universities, okay? In establishing not only the research sharing workshop, but also joint research, okay? Joint publications, student exchange, be it inbound or outbound. Of course, we need to look at the current situation in this pandemic COVID, okay? Safety first, okay? Safety first. And of course, we are also looking at visiting scholar, our lecturers to your university, and of course, your university lecturers to be our adjunct professor and visiting professor to INTI. Okay, of course, there are many others collaborations, opportunities we can work together. Last but not least, thank you. And International University is actually embarked to the journey of collaborations to all, especially to your university, okay, Dr. Arif, University Esa Unggul. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Chu Woon, for the welcoming remark. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now as a symbolic gesture to remark the signing of the MoU, allow me to present the following certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a symbolic certificate that serves as a symbol that both universities have signed the Memorandum of Understanding. This is as an agreement between the two universities to carry out several collaboration in the fields, including sharing of academic knowledge and best practice, staff and student engagement, fostering partnership and long-term relationship between both universities. And hopefully, the signing serves as part of various joint initiative and activity between the two universities, Universitas Esa Unggul Indonesia and INTI International University Malaysia. So I welcome you all to congratulate our university by the clap symbol on your video or just in a silent clap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we are going for the next session, I would like to invite Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Among Praja to greet and introduce the teams or officials from Universitas Esa Unggul. So for Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Among Praja, the floor is yours.
Okay, Dr. On, please let me introduce the team member of Esa Unggul who are already present in this occasion. The first one is, I think, the vice rectors. Yeah, there will be. I think that along with me here is Ibu Endah Multianasari, is the Vice Rector in learning, and then also the Vice Rector in research. I think Pak Arozi is attending right now. And then, okay, and then also along with my hadir is Ibu Prita Suyudi. She is the Director of International Office. And then also Ibu Diana Fajarwati, she is the Director of Digital Campus. And then Pak Dihin Septianto, he's the Director of our campus in Tangerang area, the west side of Jakarta. And then also with me,
Mohon maaf Bapak, mic-nya
Ya, nggak ada suaranya Pak.
Oke. Terakhir sama tadi Bu?
Bu Diana.
Oh ya, Bu Diana ya?
Pak Dihin sudah, Pak Dihin.
Okay. And then also with me, the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Pak Ruspiansa. Okay, Pak Ruspiansa, say hi to. And then also Ibu Roro, yeah, he is the head of program of hospital administration. Ibu Roro, okay. Kemudian along with me, Ibu Diana udah saya kenalin tadi ya, sama Bu Prita ya, sudah ya. Kemudian Pak Herman Anom, he is the Dean of
sorry Pak, you're unmute Pak.
Pak Rektor suaranya mute.
Mungkin bisa dibantu Ibu Endah, Ibu,
Ya.
untuk
Oke ya, siapa lagi ya? Kemudian okay, and then Ibu Yuli Rozali, she is the Dean of Faculty of Psychology, and also Pak Wahyudin is the Dean of Faculty of Physical Therapy, and then Pak Nixon RZ, yeah, is the Director of our campus in the east side of Jakarta in Bekasi. And then also Ibu Eri Yudia is the head of apa lembaga itu ya?
Bureau of Research and Community Services, Pak.
Okay, Bureau and Research and Community Services.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, and then Ibu Aprilita, she's the Dean of Faculty of Health Sciences. And then Ibu Harlinda Sofyan, she is the Dean of Faculty of Education. And then Pak Karna Mustaqim, he is the Dean of Faculty of Design. I think siapa yang belum saya sebutin ya, satu-satu lagi ya.
Oke. Pak Kim.
Siapa?
Pak Kim.
Sudah.
Pak.
Tadi Pak Kim semua ya, tadi udah ya. Kemudian ada, Pak Agus juga hadir di sini, Pak Agus Firmansyah, and then Ibu Indriati Yulistiani is going to become our speaker today in this general lecture. I think that will be all, I think ya. Yang
ada beberapa kaprodi Pak Rektor.
Oh ya, mungkin
Ibu Novendawati
Ibu Novendawati, can you help me? Yeah.
Ibu Novendawati as head of psychology, and then Ibu Irma Damayanti, interior design head, and then Bapak Muzazi, head of elementary education, Ibu Mariana Widyastuti, Vice Dean of Psychology. Ibu Erna, Humas. Ibu Erna apa peminatan?
PR.
Oh, PR head. And then Bapak Iksanto Wahyudi, Head of Accounting. Ibu Ayu Larasati, Head of Collaboration Bureau. And then Ibu Aisyah as a Head of Research in Psychology. And then Ibu Umana, Head of Community Development. And then Ibu Nina Nurhasana, Bapak Abdul Latif, and so many. I think enough for as unggul.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Rektor dan Ibu Enda Murtiana for the greetings and introducing. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite you, Mr. Professor Dr. Chu Woon, to greet and introduce the teams or officials from INTI International University. So, for Professor Dr. Chu Woon, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My apologies, Dr. Joseph is not able to join. He has other meetings on hand, hence he actually sent the regards to everyone, especially to Dr. Arif Vice, Rector for the university. Of course, to all the Vice Rector, good morning. So I would like to introduce from our side, we have Miss Joanna. Miss Joanna is the head of program, okay, for MassCom in our Faculty of Business Communication and Law. Okay, so together with us, there are some officers and managers from the international office. My apologies also that we are currently having another university level meetings, which is safety, security and health committee. It's a Senate meeting discussing all the security, safety and health matters, which is currently being held. So hence, my apologies on this also. In the near future, I believe we have more opportunity for collaborations and through the connections, the lecturers to lecturers, or even faculties to faculties in terms of student exchange programs, okay, and of course, the joint research and publication. Thank you, Ms. MC.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Chu Woon, for the greetings and introducing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we will going to the next session, which is webinar. But before we are going for the next session, allow me to read the rules of this webinar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first one is please use your actual name. The second, please mute the microphone, except those who will raise questions after being invited by the moderator. And the third, during this event, please turn on the video feature with virtual background that already shared by the committee. The fourth is for participants who will ask questions or comments, please submit a short sentence or to the point by via chat box with the format your name, your institution, and your question or your comments. And the last is please fill the attendance on the link that will be given at the end of the webinar session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going for the next session, which is we shall begin the webinar under the overall theme of the innovation of public relations strategy in post-COVID-19 pandemic. From the two prominent lecturers, from Universitas Esa Unggul, Ibu Indriati Yulistiani SOS MSc, and INTI International University, Miss Joanna Binti Jaya. But ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the webinar and I offer the screen to the moderator, I would like to invite the director of Esa Unggul University and also the Dean Faculty of Academic Program, INTI International University, if they have other engagement that they need to be, you are all welcome to lead the MoU ceremony segment. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, leading this discussion, I would like to introduce and invite our wonderful moderator for today, and he is Bapak Agus Firmansyah, SOS MSc, Lecturer of Communication Science Faculty of Universitas Esa Unggul. Pak Agus Firmansyah, SOS MIKOM, he holds his bachelor in Pajajaran State University and his master in Communication Science in Diponegoro University. And ladies and gentlemen, he also has a lot of working experience, such as the member of Sigap UMKM and Garda Transbumi, faculty member of Universitas Esa Unggul, and he also got an award from Kemdikbud Ristek Dikti Republik Indonesia Academic Affirmation State Scholarship, awardee, and others. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Pak Agus is already here, and I already saw him video right now. So, for Pak Agus, now I offer the screen to you.
Okay, thank you, Nadila. Yeah, thank you, my dear students, Nadila. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our panel sessions of the conference is about to begin, of course. And thank you very much for preparing yourself to join our virtual conference. Okay, I would like to say, firstly, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning, everyone, especially the respectable Director of Universitas Esa Unggul, Dr. Insinyur Arif Kusuma Amongpraja, MBA IPU, and Dean of Faculty of Academic Programs, INTI International University, Associate Professor Chu Wu-an. How are you today, Professor?
Fine, thanks.
And of course, the honorable all faculty members today, all international officers, lecturers, students of Universitas Esa Unggul and INTI International University, and the honorable all participants of this virtual conference. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce myself again? I am Agus Firmansyah, would like to be the moderator of today's panel session. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to this conference. I see hundreds of participants on today's conference. Alhamdulillah. Now, just to remind you about the title of our general lecture here today, is about the innovations of public relations strategy post-pandemic COVID-19. But actually, we don't really know, will it be in what certain time? Okay. Reminding about the COVID-19, and of course, this talking about strategy, I just remembered something to my best of knowledge. When we are talking about strategy, seems that on my head, I have a pictures of many things which relates to. Yes, of course, it seems it is wide or a huge thing that we can discuss it. That is why here in a very honorable event, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have two speakers, two presenters They are Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya and Ms. Indriyati Yulistiani. But before that, the presentations begins. Let me inform you how the presentations will be going on. First is the presentations of material. That's the most valuable things that we are waiting for. The second one is the questions and answer session. And at last is the conclusions, of course. Okay, now next we jump to, this is the waiting time from our two speakers. Yeah. May I introduce our first speaker, who is Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya. According to my notes here, there is a short resume that I might read for a while. Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya is the head of program at the Faculty of Business, Communications and Law from INTI International University. Yes. Okay. She's talking about the topic, the public relations strategy, strengthening communication in the post-COVID-19. From the education that I know from her, she's got the bachelor degree from University of Technology Mara, Shah Alam, and then the second degree is taken from the same university, during in Mass Communications University. Anyway, how are you today, Miss Joanna? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, another thing then from Miss Joanna, talking about her academic activities. The thing that I might to let you know that the first one about the topic of behavioral factors associated with news consumptions of communications undergraduate. She presented in the recent days this year in international conference too. And the second one is coordinated symposiums on impact of COVID-19 on media usage. Another thing, well, the article taken from her, Ms. Joanna has already been, has many sport activities. It is a tennis school. Wow, that's amazing. She's got a lot of medals from tennis court games in the country. Okay, now there is the first presenter of our webinar today. Allow me to welcome our beloved speaker, Ms. Joanna Binti Jaya, to deliver your presentations in about, of course, 15 minutes ahead. Please, Ms. Joanna.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen first.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope everyone can see that. Boleh kan?
Boleh?
Boleh ya? Okay. Let me make that bigger. Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to University Esa Unggul. Thank you, Pak Agus. Yes, Pak Agus, and of course the rector, Dr. Engineer Arif Kusuma, my fellow colleagues, Dr. Chu, fellow colleagues in University Esa Unggul, as well as INTI International University, and all the students and participants for today. Now, I was given a very difficult, I feel like this topic is very, very difficult, to be very frank. I'm not sure with my next presenter, Ms. Indriyanti. So I was asked to present something on tourism. So I will give that a little bit as my knowledge I have based on the friends that I have in AirAsia, as well as what we see in the news today. But I think most of the thing is going to be concentrated on public relations strategies and the communication strategies, literally, that we have in INTI International University, and how we've taken, actually, to a certain extent, the advantage of the scenario that we have. I think Dr. Chu can also later on add on a few of the things, because he has already mentioned a little bit of the things that I'm going to present today. So let me go into I'm sure everybody understands what is public relations strategy. It does assist our firms in organizing public relation efforts, making a strategic decision, the development and implementation. And I believe that is what both of the speakers are going to talk today, the development and new implementations that we have in our organization or by our country to aid our particular brand. So let me go into just a little bit of very quickly, what happens in Malaysia. Okay, I'm very sure the first one, which is our food services. In Malaysia as well as Indonesia, we cannot live without food. So during the pandemic as well as the post-pandemic, you would actually see a lot of businesses develop about food products, food services. And a lot of people use the social media, it doesn't matter whether Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, to actually drive that. And then, of course, delivery services, Grab, Food Panda, these things, a lot of our some of the people obviously lost jobs, and some of them actually ventured into doing delivery services. And there is more even local delivery services that we have in Malaysia. So that's very much an individual strategy, yeah? So next is education. I think in Malaysia, we are definitely, I still think we are a very young, developed country in education. I still believe that. Maybe Dr. Chu can also, he's nodding his head, I'm guessing. But we are developing that, and we definitely want to concentrate on that. More and more people are actually making sure that their children are getting certifications. And that is definitely something that we are going to talk about today. Obviously, the next few is on health pertaining to COVID-19 and of course, so many more. So like I mentioned, we're talking about education today. I'm not sure about in Indonesia, but here in Malaysia, as I go on to talk about INTI, there is also a similarity with school children. I have a toddler that is 6 years old. And that has definitely developed, the whole system, and it made that particular kindergarten a bit more established. So very quickly, we are going to talk a bit about the whole INTI evolution and the different infrastructure and symbiosis of our digital system. And this is the part that I'm talking about, our communication strategy and how we have developed collaboration like today and slowly and hopefully going up the rankings. Now, INTI has been established. I'm sure you've seen our corporate video. We are established in 1986. We are slightly older, 35 years old, but as a university, we are still very, very young. We're about 11, 12 years old. And in these 10 years, we have definitely ensured that our students go through something we call, or a lot of people call it, blended learning. And we have a lot of infrastructures that we use for that blended learning. And we have improved that infrastructure for blended learning. Most of the time, our tool is actually Blackboard. And we have continued, as I mentioned, we have continued that during the pandemic. We have gave training to ensure that, we capitalize on all our international students, not just our local students. Because we all have time difference. Some of our students have time difference of 7, 8, and the Blackboard as one of our infrastructure allows us to communicate well. And I think that's why we do have a lot of international students still coming into us. So as you see there, the last bit on that slide, you will notice that we are talking today in education, the education phenomenon and in INTI. I think for me, at least for me, the core strategy during this pandemic is developing our talent for the new norm. The new norm of, I'm not going to say new technology, but different digital symbiosis that we have. So just very quickly, I think Dr. Chu also have mentioned, our video also has mentioned, due to the development of these infrastructures, we have definitely retained our partnership with so many universities, and we have new partnership. One of it is Swinburne University. When I say partnership here, it's more of our programs as well across the campuses. We have been now ranked as Asia. I can hear someone, so okay. We have been now ranked in the World University ranking, very young still, so we are ranked into 2021. But before this, we also was ranked in QS, but for different categories. We were given 5-star for facilities, inclusiveness and employability in 2019, and also 5-star for online learning in 2020. So this is our first time being in World University ranking, and that is also again what I'm going to say on how, or roughly how we did that. Of course, this is all our other global industry partners. We have about 450, and we collaborate with them now using all the new norms technology. And because of that, we still, this is a survey in 2017, but we still have about that percentage where a lot of our graduates, get employed within 6 months. In fact, I have to say this, I think due to the pandemic, I believe that percentage has increased where INTI graduates get jobs offer before they graduate, because they have to assist their parents and stuff like that. And a lot of them somehow or other get to do social media marketing. So they are already involved in their own field works, especially for the mass communication students. Okay, so as I mentioned, the core strategy, I believe, is definitely our talent development. And how do we do that? As I mentioned earlier, we have different infrastructure, and this is roughly the infrastructure that I'm talking about. We have used now the latest new norm applications under Microsoft, under Google, under Blackboard, under Adobe, and even LinkedIn. We have collaborated with them, and we use a lot of the LinkedIn learning. So I think I better go into, wait, hold on, let me, I think from there, this is roughly, I think, a better perspective of, let me skip that first. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Let me go to this again. Okay, so this is the symbiosis that we have, right? So if you actually know the whole application, we can actually have that symbiosis together. All this application that we have, we can link it together. And to be very frank with you, I'm a mass commer. I'm actually a PR person by background. I'm not an IT person like Dr. Chu is. And among all, my strength is actually in events. I do a lot of events for the university. And beginning of, actually at the end of 2020, I got so depressed and so angry because I can't do events online. So events online or even events face to face. Why I could not do that? Because we were still, learning and going through a lot of things to understand how to do online. So when it came to 2021, when a lot of our lecturers understood this symbiosis, that means, we can use Microsoft Teams. We can, relate it to Google, like the one today. Actually, I was given an invite via Teams. I was not given an invite via via Zoom Meet. Okay, so everything is now put together. So only in 2021, where I started again doing online campaigns, and we successfully in January 2021 did an online campaign with Zoo Negara, our national zoo. And in August 2021, which is our last semester for the year, I've got my students using this symbiosis, or this engagement of this symbiosis. We got them with the INTI International University management to allow students to look into coming back into campus. We haven't come back into campus. We're only starting that in January 2022, but we've created a campaign to make them come back. So all this engagement, just by those two campaigns for MASCOM, we have generated an engagement of more than 5,000. More than 5,000. We created a lot of awareness for those two itself due to this symbiosis, where we engage from Microsoft to Google to Blackboard and then to Adobe and a lot. Of course, we have to use Adobe because we do have broadcasting modules and visual modules that we need to use Adobe. So I think I've actually mentioned that, but very quickly, this is by words. If you see the SharePoint, we can do group meeting. We have an email database. We share database. I don't know whether you all are familiar with Microsoft Teams, the Teams. I can actually now create a lot of files, and I can actually share files from there and do presentations. So it's easy. We have all this database in all of this. So we had to go for that learning. So this is one of the strategy. And again, I mentioned the talent development strategy. So actually, because of that, I believe the university has grown. And yes, now Dr. Chu was mentioning, we have now done more symposium. Actually, the initiative was more to get us to be a more research-based university. We are still young and we are being more of a research-based university. That's the next, that is our strategy. And due to that, I think Dr. Chu mentioned 80 plus, but I've got yesterday about 100 plus, 120 sort of symposiums that we've done throughout the year. And we've created so much collaboration with 16 countries. And our staff, including the MASCOM lecturers, here in Malaysia, I'm not sure in Indonesia, but here in Malaysia, a lot of the MASCOM lecturers are not very, so motivated to do their PhD, because a lot of us are still very industry relevant. So in the past 2 years, actually, all of my MASCOM lecturers have done PhD, because we've got into knowing that we can do this via the new symbiosis. Dr. Chu has mentioned earlier that we had the International Conference of Innovation and Technopreneurship. We have the Asian Social Businesses. In fact, the ICIT, we call it, we've already started our 5th conference and planning for next year. And all of it ranges from business, social sciences, IT, engineering, so many. And we have now developed journals due to the symbiosis, due to the symbiosis of the digital development. And we get our staff to write and be in. And that's how I'm sure Pak August is very interested and very excited that I'm a Malaysian player for tennis. And I'm very active in doing events and stuff like that. I guess because of that background. But due to this symbiosis, I have started, even writing and presenting papers online. So it's and today, even though it's my second time presenting to all of you all, it is really fascinating how we can do this in this symbiosis. So we are doing that more. Now, that's thank you. But before I go, I know some of you all wanted to understand tourism. Now, in Malaysia, our tourism, I think as we go forward, Air Asia in particular, obviously they have had a lot of downfall. The tourism industry has a lot of downfall. But I believe Tan Sri Tony Fernandez, who also came to talk to us last week, was it last week or last 2 weeks? He has developed a travel mall, and from that travel mall, we have all this delivery and stuff like that. In fact, our Air Asia compound was even used for the vaccination center. And slowly but surely, I think we are going on a very slow pacing because we try to be as careful as possible. So if you go into our Tourism Malaysia website, you will see we concentrate on Langkawi first, and then of course all the others. We definitely going into Sarawak. We're going slowly into Sabah. I'm actually staying in Cyberjaya. That's about 15 minutes from the airport, and I have one runway whereby I can see the aeroplane. So I can tell you that we are slowly going to hopefully get engaged into more tourism industry. Obviously, we start local, and if the borders are starting to open in other countries, definitely we'll slowly also go into that. But that is as much as I can analyze on tourism. Yeah. So with that, I hope I've given you all something on our communication strategy. In fact, it's more of our talent development strategy on the current pandemic situation, how we've taken advantage of the tools that we've already had for the past 5 years at least, and moving forward with more application within those things to develop our education industry in Malaysia. So thank you very much.
Sorry, Pak Agus, you're still mute, Pak.
Oops, sorry, that's a technology problem. Again, thank you very much, Miss Joanna, or Kakak Joanna. Okay, that's a very nice presentation, just a wonderful presentation, a very informative and very interesting presentations. Okay, but however, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have our speaker, our second presenter, sorry. Now we are going to have Ibu Indriati Yulistiani. But before that, Mbak Indri would like to introduce you a little bit. Ibu Indri is one of the lecturers at Universitas Esa Unggul. She has received her bachelor degree from Universitas Indonesia, majoring in international relations, excuse me, and also master degree from Universitas Indonesia in communication too. Okay, am I correct, Mbak Indri? Yeah.
Yes, Pak Agus.
And okay, about her professional experiences there, tickle me a little bit. Actually, Mbak Indri or Ibu Indri is a master trainer at BE Training Consultant. And from 2010 until present, she's trainer for XP training for soft skills such as public speaking, media relations, event management, and many more. Okay, now allow me to welcome Ibu Indriati Lustiani to deliver, of course, your presentations, just the 10 minutes, around 15 minutes, hopefully. And before, of course, before the Q&A sessions. Please, Ibu Indriati.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Agus Firmansyah, as our moderator today. And I would like to say thank you to Esa Unggul University and also INTI International University Malaysia, and also all distinguished ladies and gentlemen that who have given me the opportunity to share my thought in this prestigious moments today. And first, I'd like to congratulate the MoU signing by these reputable universities, and I believe that it will be bring the great opportunities to both of the universities. And let me share my thought for today's. So everybody can see my screen?
Yeah, that's very clear, really.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me bring it big first. Okay, today I give the title, the Public Relations Strategy to Strengthen Tourism Industry Post-COVID-19 Pandemic. And let me give the subtitling, PR agent as an agent of change, because I would like to talk about this PR agent as our strategy to convey the pandemic COVID for the tourism business, actually. This is a bit of me. My name is Indriati Yulistiani, and you could call me Indri. This is my contact. If you want to contact me, please free to contact me anytime to discuss everything. Okay, and okay. With no further ado, let me talk about this theme about the public relations strategy to strengthen tourism industry post-COVID-19. And first of all, I would like to talk about the concept that I will talk in this sharing session. The first concept that I will be bringing is a public relation. I believe everyone in here very familiar with this the term of public relation. But the thing that I want to highlight is the public relation need the plan and sustainable opportunity, sustainable effort. So if we do or something to do with the public relation, this thing we have to consider as first as the plan and sustainable effort. And second, we talk about the PR strategy. We know everyone maybe in here already knows about the PR strategy, what the PR strategy is. But I believe I have something to tell you that the PR strategy that I would so talk about in here is the coherent approach that is taken to a program, any kind of program of public relation, and also it's a guiding principle if we want to make a public relation program. And it means that this is the big idea if we want to make something. And also, if we talk about the PR strategy, it's
something we have to do, the big idea we have to do if we have to want to achieve an objective. And in this time, in this cases, is a strengthen tourism industry post COVID-19 pandemic, I think, and the strategy. We will talk about this strategy, and also if we talk the strategy, we have to do the tactics that we can do to make the strategy is implemented to do. And the last concept that we have to talk is the tourism. Now, why tourism? Why we have to talk about tourism? The one main reason is the Ms. Joanna before already said that the tourism is the one of the business industry that has experienced severe impact of the pandemic. The impact is very big, and for us in Indonesia, we know that tourism is one of the business with large income, and maybe for so many countries in the East Asia is also the business that give incomes, a big income to the country. So if this business, this sector have the severe impact, the income, it will be decreased very, very big. And if we talk about the PR strategy, we have to consider the context. The context is very important to know. We have to know every information, because every information is count. That's why we have to do some research. The research as a background data for us to do our to implement the strategy for the cases. And what happened in the worldwide pandemic? If I read in some of the journal or in the articles, we found out that in pandemic, people in the world is more connected with the net. Whether use of social media, and also redefine use of social media. This means how people use social media is very different before yesterday, before in the past. And also, because of the pandemic, is more awareness of the importance of security, safety, and health. This is the top of mind of everyone for the security, safety, and health. And this is the context for our talking.
Bawahin biasanya, biar bisa kita ngeliat dari toko lainnya. Jika nggak ada suaranya kan.
Okay.
Okay, just continue.
Okay, let me continue. Okay, this is the context that when we are talking about the pandemic situation. Okay, and if we put that context in the tourism PR while pandemics, we found that some brands maintain their presence, want to maintain their presence by making the storytelling with the hashtag, maybe like a remember when. That's how they try to put their brand in the mind of the consumer. And with that, the wider and redefined use of social media, also we found out that local writers play more important role, because we cannot take the journalists from outside maybe to go to some spot tourism and make the report or coverage about that. And instead of that, we have to give the opportunity to the local writer. They can give the spot is the coverage that is very interesting with their own point of view, the customer point of view. Remember, in PR, we know in public relations, we know the third person validation is very important. And also, like before I said, the consumer protection is always top of the mind. That's the tourism PR while pandemic. And I also read that there's so many changes in tourism PR because of the COVID. The importance of information. People always want to have the up-to-date information, of course. And this is the role of PR to do as the middleman. And also the alternative destination knowledge, because people doesn't want to go to the very popular spot with so many people crowded in there. So the spot that less of the people is growth, and also focus on the future, because we know that because of the pandemic we cannot go everywhere, and travel sector can be leader in flattening the curve in the COVID, but we can still do for the future. In the near future, I hope that as a reminder to the world that travel is an essential, very essential to the human and also for economic. And to do that, we saw that more creative content everywhere. People do the more creative content in their stories. PR do that in their stories, in the social media, using social media and everything like that. And also the sense of community, because people think that we have to stick together to overcome this situation. And this thing is it's a better way for the tourism PR actually, give them more benefit for the tourism PR. So in one side we have the pandemic with all the costs, but the other side for the PR we have this some opportunity that growing opens. And okay, let me talk about the PR strategy again. We have the objective to strengthen tourism, okay? And how about the strategy? Today, I over the strategy is a digital strategy. And in digital strategy, we have so many tactics that we can do. Why we have to talk a digital strategy? Because I believe, knowing that social media can be a modern magic for building image. Everything we can build the image of everything in social media with the small cost. If we use the conventional media. And also media habits in society, I believe already changed. Okay. Yesterday we saw people around the world, around the street with the newspaper in their hand, but today it's not like that anymore. The thing was different. Everybody get acquainted with their gadget, with their social media. They are connected with the net, like I said before. So in the number, if we see the number in 10 years, the desktop, the mobile have a very increasing the data. The data is very increasing, very big. And if we see the comparison with the conventional media, is not compare. It's a very decrease. Okay. In other side, the conventional media is decreased and digital media increase very big. So if we see also the daily time people spend in the media, they spend in the media almost 7 hours a day, and almost 2.5 hours they spend in the social media. That's why I think social media is one of the things that we have to talk about, that we have to consider if we talk about the strategy for the PR, especially in tourism industry.
Excuse me, Ms. Henry.
Yes.
You have a 5 minutes more.
Okay, of course. Thank you, Mr. Agus. And that's why I think this is the plan. We have to plan the magic with the public relation. It's time for what we call it a cyber PR, digital PR. And who can be the PR agent? You can be the PR agent, Nadila can be the PR agent, Lambok can be PR agent, Mr. Agus can be PR agent, everyone can be PR agent. So everybody actually can be the PR agent. And when I talk about the PR agent, it doesn't mean a professional PR. everybody could be the PR agent, everybody that connected with the net, of course. And what the PR agent do? I think let them post, let them write a lot in many kind of social media. I have give the example of the social media from my students in Esa Unggul. Thank you so much for my students that I already give the photo of them. This is how they talk about the tourism spot. If we see this photo, I believe you want to go there. I believe in the near future, when the thing is already calm down, the safety already in our hand, we want to go there. It's interesting for us. This is the PR, the PRing do, and also not only in the grassroots, in the people, they can do in so many kind of the social media. Like I said before, if you want to target it, the family mothers who want to go travel with their family, we can go for the Facebook. But if you're targeted the young people, let's use Instagram, or even though we can use the TikTok to do that. It's more reachable for the young people. And the thing like this, not only is already did by our government. If we see the social media of our in Indonesia, in the President Jokowi or the Minister Sandiaga Uno, they all use the social media to promote something, to say something, the tourism spot. And this is all we have already talked about that. They are already become a PR agent, and also everyone in here, I think. So let me borrow some talk from the Kelly Farrow, a filmmaker, a travel journalist, who said that start small, focus on one experience and tell that story in under a minute. I think everybody in here, everyone in here could do that. And you can do really nice, make a post, make a story about the tourism. This is the strategy I think we could think very carefully for the next maybe a years or two. Okay, thank you very much. And this is the references that I use in this sharing session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Agus.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Indri. That's a very wonderful presentations and also informative, interesting too. I saw pictures there. I know some days I have to visit the places. Okay, thank you, Mbak Indri. Now, ladies and gentlemen, come to the next sessions. Of course, the session that you are waiting for, which is the Q&A sessions. But I just to remind you that I would like to have at least 3 questions from participants. Please use the raise hand feature on the Zoom, then unmute your microphone and camera. And anyway, you may also chat down right on Q&A column below. And you may speak using Malay or Bahasa Indonesia to us. Okay, now audience, we are waiting for question share. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you would like just raise your hand. You would like to ask to the speakers or presenters using the symbols, or just straight away open the mic on you. Okay. Yes, we are waiting for questions now. You can use Bahasa or Malay. whether you have any opinion, any questions regarding to those two topics that already presented. Yeah. Now I see here Q&A. Yeah. Okay. My dear students, Nabila, do you find the thing you'd like to ask? Okay. Now we're waiting for the questions. I just waiting. I see some questions will arise. To Kakak Joanna, you are telling about your personal experiences on managing the university facing this pandemic, COVID-19. So according to you, maybe you can share more additional thing that would like to have by us or to was it a present conditions? Yeah. Now, while waiting to the answer, now we have a questions from Jessica Dinia. Okay, to the presenters in bahasa I might read. Selamat siang. Saya mau tanya, kita sudah masuk era new normal. Kalau dari segi narasumber, just a moment, this is keeper. Okay. Ya, new normal itu seperti apa? And kenapa kita butuh kenormalan itu? Okay, that is the first question. What is a new normal according to you? Okay, Kakak Joanna and Mbak Indri. And the second question is coming from Olivia. Pertanyaan kedua from Esa Unggul. Ingin bertanya, mengapa peran humas menjadi sangat penting dalam memperkuat industri pariwisata di Indonesia? Yeah, there is questions that I find in the question and answer column. Okay, please, Miss Joanna or Miss Indri, would like first to give comment or answer to those questions?
Okay, I'll try to answer question number 1.
Yeah, okay, please.
Kita sudah masuk ke era new normal. Okay, kita sudah masuk, betul jawapan tu. Tetapi kita masih developing dalam new normal tu. Bagi saya lah, because you know sebelum ni kita tahu Facebook, kita tahu Instagram, kita tahu LinkedIn, you know, kita tengok daripada kita guna untuk membuat sesuatu kerja. Saya bagi an example, right? Like for me, just now I was mentioning, saya tahu that we can do, you know, online events via Teams, via you know, whatever the new technologies that we have. But we still, at a certain, you know, earlier point of life, we always wanted to do face-to-face. It's more exciting. So to me, I mean, it's not just me. It's actually a lot of other universities in Malaysia. We are now knowing that technology. We are now using that technology. So kita, bagi saya, we are in the new normal, but we are still developing in the new normal. We haven't gone into macam, you know, full force of new normal. If we have gone into the full force of new normal, that means we can animatedly go into Indonesia, for example. Like I don't need to go on the plane to go to Indonesia. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is still more you know, more new normalization that use new technologies to go into other virtual things. Macam kita kan ada we had Avatar, right? The new technology in film that was what 12 years ago, and then we came back into Avatar as well. You know, and we have new different film technologies. But now, for me to go into Indonesia, I probably have to think and think harder to go into Indonesia in 3 years. And by the way, Indonesia is one of the best places to visit. I've been to Indonesia a lot of times. But I think maybe along the way, the new normal would be someone will create an animation for me to visualize to be in Bali. So that's going to be probably the new normal of new invention. So we are in it. So I don't think kita masih buntu, kita baru mula. I think that's what I'm trying to say to everyone. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Joanna. Yeah, I do agree with the explanation from you. Someday, and actually, we still do hope can visit those places, especially in tourism area, for example. And we are still developing the new normal. We are not at the end or in the concrete situation by now. Okay, thank you. Then there is a second question from Olivia. Maybe Ms. Indriati would like to, to give any explanations about the questions about the yes, peran humas menjadi sangat penting dalam memperkuat industri pariwisata di Indonesia. Is that correct or what? Yes, Ms. Indri.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Agus. Which language that I have to talk? Indonesia or Bahasa?
Yeah, it's up to you. You both understand about Malay and English.
Okay, okay, we mix together. Okay, okay. I understand that Miss Joanna said about the new normal things, and I believe that that what happened in Indonesia too. This is not new normal. This is not normal, but we have to move on. We have to move on because of the maybe the economic sector, because we have to think about the economic sector and about the future of the generation, something like that. And people in some places have gathered the new technology, like Mr. Agus said, that new invention, like like Ms. Joanna said, she cannot go to Indonesia right now, but I think with the more interesting content, more creative content, Miss Joanna still can have watch at the Bali or feel the vibe of the Bali, of the tourism spot in Indonesia still, while she is still in her couch, maybe in her living room, okay, with the virtual tour. We can go to any kind of virtual tour. We can go to the Paris, we can go to New York to see any kind of the tourism spot. That's the kind of new normal that I think of. We have to go with the most of everything. The situation is not in our hands, but I believe if we stick together, we can manage that situation. And for the PR, public relation, as is have the more role or the role is more important role in the tourism industry in Indonesia, especially in Indonesia. I think yes, the PR, but furthermore, I have to say that everybody can be the PR, because the PR things can be do by everybody. We can say the nicest things about something. We can spot everything that good in everywhere. So everyone can be the PR agent, but yes, for the strategy, the grand strategy, we need the PR professional to do that. We PR professional can make the grand design, the big idea, how to manage the situation with the PR tools and make it this is the best opportunity for everyone else. I think that's it, Mr. Agus.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Indri. We have a few questions relate to terms of cyber PR. Yeah. Okay, some participants ask us about cyber PR nowadays. What do you think? You know, Ms. Jana or Ms. Indri? Yeah, Ms. Jana, please.
Okay, first of all, I think I wanted to take this opportunity also to say thank you to Ms. Indri. She brought up a very good point on PR agent, and I think that's just to follow up her answer earlier on. We even in Malaysia, everyone is now a PR agent, and especially when it comes to food. Kan tadi I was mentioning pasal food, right? It's a must here in Malaysia, and I'm sure in Indonesia, Asia is a food heaven. ASEAN is a food heaven. So how we boomed in that is that we became PR agent. A lot of individuals became PR agent and used social media. A lot of people knew how to do that more. And because of that, I'm not sure how they call it in Indonesia, but here, a lot of public relation agencies have changed from, really doing campaigns that is on ground to more of what we call it social media monitoring, doing online campaigns. So those are memang, cyber public relation. And a lot of things that we do online in Malaysia, same thing with INTI. If you go into INTI's website, you will see that we are, you will definitely see in any website you have Facebook, right? And then you have Instagram, you have LinkedIn. And in today, like Ms. Indrianti was saying, TikTok, presidents are going on TikTok. Prime ministers are going on TikTok. Even our prime minister is going on TikTok. I know the daughter of the prime minister pretty well. So I know she influenced her father very much on that. So you see the PR agent as an individual and the knowing of these social medias, is what PR is all about today, or what PR and cyber is. But I saw this question, right? Where was it? Good job. After going through the pandemic period for the past year, of course, there have been many changes or big breakthroughs in world of education. But how to reach people who have difficulties in reaching them to lack of devices or internet connection, especially in lecture. Okay, now going into from social medias into this question. Like I was mentioning earlier, in INTI, we have other online infrastructure or other communication strategy. I wouldn't call it a PR strategy, but communication strategy when we do education. And we have been very, how to say this, privileged. And we have a lot of discussion on ensuring we get to the international students. We have about, I think it's about 56 international representation, maybe a little bit more. I'm not so sure. I think Mr. Brandon can let us know, but it's a lot. We have a lot of international students on ground in every different campus. So we acknowledge not just difficulty in internet. We also acknowledge the fact that some of them are nearly 7 to 8 hours different. So when we use our Blackboard, we record our teachings, and we have a tool in the Blackboard where we can view whether the students have seen the lectures. We have a tool or indication whether the students have done activities. So to a certain extent, as much as student has the comfort, of going through that lectures again, if they are, 8 hours behind, or even, at that particular day, they have an internet connection issue, they can revise and look at. Now, of course, in Malaysia, we also have, strict visa regulations. Every student, local or international, you need to have 80%, attendance. So for those who really have those difficulties, the Blackboard, our main, infrastructure in teaching, has allowed all this to make it easy and to make students comfortable when they are studying. Because of course it's not easy. It's not easy studying, at home without your friends, without your lecturers. So we try as much and discuss and get our partners like Blackboard to assist us in doing that. Our partners like Microsoft to assist us in doing that. So that's why we've created that whole symbiosis, like I was mentioning. We also still use Google Meet, by the way. So I think this is how earlier on I was saying about cyber PR in that manner, but here cyber, I wouldn't call it cyber PR, but it's just our communication strategy or our PR strategy to our student, which is definitely our main stakeholder, on how to ensure that they are comfortable when they are studying.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Diana.
Yeah,
that's very inspiring explanation. Yeah. Okay, next, Ibu Indi or Ms. Indri would like to add more, something that brought in our mind about the questions.
Okay, thank you. I agree with Ms. Joanna that the term of the cyber PR may be not popular enough, but I believe the main thing in that cyber PR or digital PR is already we do in several years, and it will be growth because of the situation. And the cyber PR or the digital PR, actually we have a cyber PR class, Miss Joanna, in Esa Unggul University. So students in Esa Unggul can learn about the digital PR and cyber PR, because we believe in so many sectors. In every sector, we can use this cyber PR to do more and more. Like today, Miss Joanna already follow me in my Instagram. And I already asked Miss Joanna, I request Mr. Joanna to follow her, okay? And after Miss Joanna already accept my request, I believe I can see so many things that are very interesting thing that I can want to see or have if I went to if I go to Malaysia again. I went to the Malaysia, Miss Joanna, and I think Malaysia is very fascinating place. Yeah. One time I go there, I went there when I still as a journalist life, because before I'm a journalist, I coverage the non-alignment movement. In Kuala Lumpur. I forgot the years, it's so many years before, but yeah, but if I already see Miss Joanna Instagram, maybe it's something reminiscent me about the Malaysia, about the KL, about something that I love when I went there, the crab that I already eat and I love it. Okay, and I think there's so many places that I will have the information. Okay, and that's what the cyber PR do. That's the cyber PR can make the positive role in broadening the area of PR. And don't forget that the cyber PR or digital PR or using the social media as our tools of public relation is very cheap if we compare with the conventional one. If we use the advertisement in the maybe in the television, we have to have so many big money in there for the making, for the placement. But for the digital PR, it's not, it's a cheaper, very much cheaper. At least we don't have to pay the satellite, right? The Instagram or any kind of social media is we can feel free to use it 24 hours a day. And I believe everyone, maybe some of us, when they are woke up in the morning, just put their Instagram on or social media on, right? To know what happened in the world. And the last thing that I have to say that some research said that many young people, like millennials or the Generation Z, they follow the social media to follow the brands. That means this is the big impact if the brand use the social media as their tools of PR in any kind of industry, not only in tourism. So like said what what this Vishnu said, if I Fahri, somebody in the chat said that if I part of the tourism industry, what would I do? Still, I would use that cyber PR, that digital PR. I think this is a very nice tools that we can use if we use it very wise, of course. Thank you, Mr. Agus.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Henry. Wow, there's very clear explanations and make me, inspired to do something related to the cyber PR. Okay, Ms. Joanna and Ms. Henry, I think because of the limitations of the time we have on this very wonderful conference or webinar, we still have maybe 5 minutes more, yeah. But anyhow, I would like to say that, before I close this panel, of course, I'd like to give a small conclusions, if you don't mind, from what you have already discussed with us or has presented. As long as my best of knowledge that it is highly important for us to strengthening, to be more creative, much more innovation too of public relations strategy in the time of post-pandemic COVID-19. As Ms. Joanna already explained to relate to the, for instance, INTI, International University Core Strategy, which is called talent development, which relates to symbiosis of digital system to the faculty members and the students. And also Ms. Indriati explain more about the strategy, the key words that I got here, how if we do much more storytelling to increase, to develop more about tourism industry in our country. Okay, now, at last, actually, I would like to continue the discussions that becoming more hot and, the thing that we can discuss it, but again, because of the limitation of the time, we finally come to the end of the panel sessions, ladies and gentlemen. But before we close this panel, I would like to take, to say something to our very wonderful speakers and presenters, to thank the speakers for the informative and interesting presentations, and all the participants for the very active participations. Finally, now, ladies and gentlemen, let us give the big applause for the speakers and for you all by giving the symbol below. Okay, thank you again to the all participants. And from me, that is all by now. Hopefully you are still in good health conditions. If I make mistake, just forgive me. Then I would like to say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Back again to MC Nabila.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pak Agus, and our two wonderful speakers, Ibu Indiarti Yulistiani, SOS MSc, and Miss Joanna Binti Jaya. I hope there was a great lesson that we can take from this webinar because, you know, this webinar is very insightful and relate to our current situation right now, which is pandemic. So thank you very much. And well, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't feel that we are now there in the end of our virtual MoU signing ceremony and also international webinar. But before we end of this victory event, please allow us to take a picture together for documentation. So all participants are welcome to open your camera, and I over the screen to the committee in charge to capture the screen. Excuse me, the committee in charge, please capture the screen, please.
Yeah, Nabila, we already smiled. You're waiting for the screen capture. Kakak Jonah, just remember Genting. You know, I visit Genting, Chowki, Pasar Rakyat, if I'm not mistaken, in Kuala Lumpur.
Ui, banyak lagi boleh pergi, banyak lagi. Tapi sememangnya Indonesia lagi besar. Saya saya pernah pergi ke Jakarta, Bali, of course, ke Medan, and yeah, I hope to visit Yogyakarta actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's and I haven't been to Bandung.
Wow.
Tapi Bandung is more shopping.
Yeah.
Kan? Betul? Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister spent 1 year in Jakarta because she's in IT. So she spent 1 year working for Columbia Asia at that time. So they set up Columbia Asia, I think, in Jakarta. Is it? I'm not sure whether it's in Jakarta or somewhere else. So she speaks better bahasa Indonesia than me. Saya hanya tahu bisa, enggak, itu saja.
Okay. Later on, you can speak Sundanese even. Okay, committee, right. Are you ready to get a screenshot?
Okay, Ms. Pak Agus, maybe the committee is already captured the screenshot. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the documentation. And now we're going to the end of our virtual MoU signing ceremony and also the international webinar. I believe that our communication will not end today, and I hope to meet you all in the other occasions. So I want to thank you very much to you all that have been here until the end of the occasion, and special thanks for teams or officials from our counterpart in the International University, and of course teams or officials from Universitas Esa Unggul as well, our two speaker and moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, the webinar certificate will be submitted by the committee in the near time. So if there are any questions, comment, or maybe feedback, you are welcome to submit to organizing by email. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much. I wish you all have a good day and wonderful day. And I want to say the special thanks for organizing committee too from both institutions. And ladies and gentlemen, before I close this occasion, I want to close with pantun. Okay, this is, bila ada sumur di ladang, boleh kita menumpang mandi. Bila ada umur kita panjang, bolehlah kita berjumpa lagi. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm Nadila M. Saleh. See you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank
wabarakatuh.
you.
Okay, thank you everybody.
Bye-bye.
I would like to leave.
Go ahead to know you, Miss Joanna.
Miss Joanna.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Maybe we can play tennis court in KL next time.
Yes.
Okay.